Joining me now is Tali Farhadian-Weinstein. She is a former federal prosecutor and state prosecutor. She's also an MSNBC legal analyst. Talia, it's great to see you again. Thank you for being here tonight. So let me ask you about January 6th. I mean, we know that Rudy Giuliani was interviewed by the special counsel. We now know that Mark Roman, who played a key role in the fake electoral plot as well, is cooperating in this agreement. What does that signal to you at this moment in the investigation?
Well, it tells us that Jack Smith is really busy because at the same time that he's going full speed ahead in the documents case, he's also working up the January 6th case. And the Giuliani appearance in a proffer is interesting. We don't know what it means, but we could make some educated guesses. And remember, Giuliani was the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. So he knows better than anybody what to do and how to help himself. And one possibility is that he is working his way toward a cooperation agreement, because when you decide to make an agreement as the government with somebody where they would plead guilty to whatever crimes they've committed in exchange for leniency, you have to have a series of proffers along the way in which that person tells you everything they've ever done that was wrong, and you decide if you believe them and if you want to work with them. And so that's one possibility for what's going on here.
Okay, so you bring up a really interesting point about Rudy Giuliani wanting to tell us everything that he's doing. Let's put up this tweet. He retweeted this CNN article that basically talks about him going to meet with the special prosecutor. It's an article that basically confirmed that he was interviewed, and voluntarily nonetheless. What do you think he's trying to tell us with the fact that he retweeted that article?
So that was curious, right?
Yeah.
And he definitely has some kind of PR.
Is that his way of like, I'm afraid to tell Donald Trump that I did this, but hopefully he'll see it on Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, to go inside of his mind is
I would never ask you to do that, right?
Is tricky. But he does seem to want to emphasize, one, that his appearance at the proffer sessions was voluntary, which actually doesn't really tell us very much, because proffers are by definition voluntary. It just means that you have volunteered to meet with prosecutors outside of the grand jury without a subpoena and tell them what you know, hope you get something out of it, or just do the right thing. And he also wanted to put out there that he has not been told that he is a subject of the investigation, which is hard to believe because subject is really broadly defined. Right. It just means that your conduct is in the scope of what they're looking at. So I think that's actually kind of a clever thing on his part, because what he said is he wasn't told he was a subject. Well, if you don't ask, then you aren't told. It doesn't mean you are not a subject. And that's actually kind of a common thing that defendants do when they kind of want to manage the optics of what they're doing.
Let me ask you about this reporting yesterday from the New York Times that a grand jury in Miami basically, has received a fresh batch of subpoenas in the Mar-a-Lago investigation. How do you read that? What does that tell us?
So it just tells me that they're continuing to investigate. And in the federal system, it's actually really easy to supersede an indictment. So to add new charges or to add new defendants or to add both. You know, when I think of any serious case that I brought, I can't think of a time where I didn't supersede the indictment. In some way, you learn new things, you keep going, there's an obligation to keep going. It's important that it's happening in Miami. So this doesn't mean that there's
New Jersey, for example.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not.
How would that be different if something was happening in New Jersey?
Well, if they were looking at the conduct around that tape of Donald Trump waving the document around, then they would probably have to venue that, locate that case in Bedminster, in New Jersey. And so this tells me that they're still working on potential crimes that happened around Mar-a-Lago.
A lot of developments. We'll see what happens. It was kind of like pushed aside a little bit with everything coming out of the Supreme Court, but nonetheless, it's going to be important.
A lot of law news today.
A lot of law news. We're grateful for your expertise, Talia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Still ahead tonight, it was a Republican political stunt that cost 10